welcome! Today, with our usual style, we will see together what the inheritance community is and how to divide the inheritance among the heirs. With this video, we complete our review of the Italian law on successions and inheritances. We hope you enjoyed our video courses and that they were useful to you. Before launching our clip, however, allow me once again an important recommendation. Here we have tried to provide you with all the main information regarding successions and inheritances in Italy, focusing the attention on the most important aspects and maintaining a colloquial language. But always remember, the law is made up of particularities, and a minimal difference for the law can change everything. So, whenever you find yourself facing a real legal problem, never forget to ask for the assistance of your lawyer or not of your trust. Doing it yourself in the law, if you are not very experienced, is always very dangerous. And now, let's see our clip together.
We have already said that, in the presence of a plurality of heirs, these, normally, becomes joint owners of all the hereditary assets. This hereditary community has the same characteristics as ordinary community of property, which will be discussed in a later episode, except for a specific peculiarity.
Article 732 of the Italian Civil Code. In the event that an heir wishes to transfer his share of the inheritance to a person who is not in turn heir, recognizes a right of preemption to the other heirs on this inheritance share.
Moreover, if the transferring heir has transferred this inheritance share without communicating it to the other heirs, to allow them to exercise this preemption right, the latter may also redeem the transferred inheritance share from the third assignee.
A particular principle applies to inheritance debts. In fact, normally, and subject to due exceptions, which we cannot deal with here, without excessively complicating the matter, the heirs are liable for the inheritance debts in proportion to the respective shares of the inheritance.
In the event of a testamentary succession, however, the testator can order a different distribution of the debts, and also the heirs' joint, and several liability for them. Special rules apply, however, to mortgage debts.
The aforementioned communion ceases as a result of the hereditary division, which is the process by which each heir is attributed the exclusive ownership of a specific portion of the hereditary assets, equal, in value, to the share of the inheritance due to the same.
The law recognizes upon the heirs a real right to the division of the inheritance, unless there is an agreement between all the heirs themselves to maintain the joint ownership of it, and in any case for a period not exceeding 10 years.
The law, then, contemplates some other cases, in which the hereditary community cannot, temporarily, be dissolved. However, these are particular and rare cases, which we will not address here, in order not to complicate the discussion unnecessarily.
The hereditary division can be carried out in three forms. The first form is that of the testator's division. It is the one contained directly in the will. It can be total, which occurs when such division includes all the hereditary assets and all the heirs. In this case, it prevents the creation of the joint ownership of the inheritance itself.
Alternatively, it can be partial, and only concern some assets and, possibly, only some heirs. In such cases, the joint ownership is created only on those goods and heirs, with respect to which, no division has been made by the testator.
In any case, the latter must be careful, in dividing the inheritance, to respect the reserved shares, and not to exclude any forced heirs. In this last case, in particular, the division made becomes radically null.
A second form of division is the contractual one. This is that division of the inheritance resulting from an amicable agreement of all the heirs. When these can freely dispose of the inheritance rights and assets, the agreement can freely provide for any kind of division of the hereditary goods, even to the detriment of the reserved shares of the forced heirs.
The third form of division is the judicial one. It occurs whenever the testator has not already divided the assets fallen in succession, and the heirs themselves have not been able to find an agreement on the matter. In such cases, the law recognizes to each of them the right to take legal action, in order to have a judge sharing out the indivision. In such kind of judgments, all the other heirs must necessarily be summoned.
The management of assets that are part of the hereditary community and the division of such assets between the heirs are almost always the cause of disputes, disagreements, and even litigations between the people involved. For these reasons, if you find yourself drawing a will, you could make a real gift to the heirs by dividing the whole estate between the aforementioned already in such deed. If, on the other hand, you find yourself heir to an undivided inheritance, remember that it is your best interest to try and reach an agreement with the other heirs on how to divide the inheritance itself between you. A division lawsuit is long, it lasts many years, and expensive, and often in the time it takes to arrive at the dissolution of the community of inheritance by the judge, many of the assets that made up the estate have lost their value. However, both the negotiation to reach an agreement on the division of the estate and the agreement that enshrines such contract require a lot of attention and can in some cases become difficult to manage. In these cases, remember the proverb that preventing a damage is better than trying to fix it. When necessary, promptly seek the help of your lawyer of trust.
If you appreciated this free video course, please like it on YouTube. And if you want to be informed on new videos and other free initiatives by ARMLegal, directed to give information on what the Italian law says, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, or follow our Facebook or LinkedIn page, or our Twitter account.
This cycle of videos on successions and inheritances ended with this episode. Thanks to all of you who have followed us. For those interested in reviewing the entire cycle of video courses, a playlist on the sequence is available on our YouTube channel, which collects them all in their order and which we will propose again next Monday. In the coming weeks, however, we will continue to address with the same method the other fields of the Italian law of greatest interest. Thanks again and keep following us.